Provided this week when a teaser for a first to SA pop-up store situated on William Nicol Drive revealed to be a drive-through bar, aptly named #OneOnNicol. Well, we have a poor record in the country when it comes to drivers that abuse alcohol and then get behind the wheel. So understandably, news of a new drive-through bar was bound to be controversial. But in the end, all was not as it seemed at first. And to tell us why, we chat to Ingrid Low, CEO of aware.org. Thanks very much for joining us. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So you did create quite a bit of controversy, but all in a good cause. And it was quite a thing. And it started off on social media. And I wanted to play the clip that you put up on social media to get the ball rolling. And this is what it looked like.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. Just tell us a little about this. What inspired the idea of the drive-through drinks bar?
Well, the idea was actually inspired by, I took a trip recently and I was in Tokyo. And I found this vending machine that was literally dispensing alcohol. So I thought, why couldn't this idea work back home? And here we are. It's happened a bit quicker than I expected, but I've sort of had my mates give me a bit of input on all of this, but yeah, we've decided to go with a bit of sort of island vibe, really chill. You know, as people come over this little crest, they're going to see this awesome setup here with our palm trees and this decking and the chairs and the tables. Pull in, grab a drink, and off you go. And like I said, if you do want to sit down, we'll serve you 2, 3, maybe 4 max, and off you go. Great. So we're going to be called OneOnNicol. We are literally on the side of William Nicol Road. We are just up the road from the Bryanston Shopping Centre.
So how many people are you expecting? Eh?
As many as we can handle. I mean, yeah, the more the merrier. Bring your friends, bring everybody, come in, come see us, come have a drink with us. And of course, we want you to punt us on social media. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything you got. So don't forget, Wednesday, 12th of December, come and join us.
All right, so that was the video, Ingrid, that set the cat amongst the pigeons. I mean, a drive-through bar, it wasn't going to go down well on social media, and there was quite a lot of response, wasn't there?
Absolutely. South Africans were phenomenal, as always. They stepped up and they commented. There were varied comments, some complete rage and utter disgust, others thinking more practically, but how could you do this? Have you managed to get a license? How could you get a license? I think what we were aiming to do was to get South Africans talking, and that's what we did. And
they did talk, and they talked for quite a while, didn't they? All right, so after these tweets came out, there was still the idea of having to actually get this bar physically onto location, and that ended up being quite a process as well, but cleverly thought through, I must admit. You know, but we're still getting these tweets coming through, so these were the reactions. But then, as we said, you built the container or the bar itself, and then you had to put it up overnight. Tell us a little bit about getting the container there and making it look real.
Well, we're fortunate to work with a very good team at Riverbed, which is our marketing agency, and through it with the production house. The brief was clear that whatever we did, we had to be bold, we had to be radical, we had to do it within a defined amount of time, so that there was not too much risk involved. So it was very well planned and well executed. So much so that, you know, drivers by were slowing down. We had Wayne Minard, the spokesperson of JMPD, attend and say he was already planning to bring 200 JMPD officers to shut down William Nicol so that they could actually catch all these people that would be drinking and driving. So I think they did an exceptional job, really well done.
All right, so it was a marketing plot, and tell us about the reason and why you went about it this way.
So aware.org is the industry body that represents the alcohol industry in South Africa. Our mandate is to reduce alcohol harm. And this particular campaign is around drinking and driving and drinking and walking. We realized, Peter, that we can't continue to do the same thing and expect different results. In fact, you hear every festive season, don't drink, don't drive, if you drink, don't drive, and it goes on and on and on. And it's become wallpaper. And in fact, South Africans have become desensitized to these messages. So we realized that we needed to do it differently. We realized that we needed to be bold, we needed to be radical. And what we wanted to do was really get South Africans talking. We believe that if we get South Africans into a conversation, conversation, then they'll start thinking about what is right and what's wrong. Our message is clear. Our message is, even if you're having one drink, rethink, don't drive. And that's what we're aiming to achieve.
And I suppose you turned it on its head because you had all this outrage about a drive-through bar. And you were saying, but hang on, you're upset here, but you're not upset about drinking and driving.
And that's exactly the reality that we face with, because often we do this. We go to a networking lunch, we go to a dinner, we have a glass or two of wine with that, and we get into our cars and we think it's okay. So the whole approach with this was to say, well, if you're so abhorred by the idea of having a drive-through bar, why is it okay for you to jump into your car after a drink or two? And it's really got people sitting back and thinking, actually, you're right. We need to denormalize what is the culture in South Africa, that if you have a few drinks, you can jump into your car and still drive. It's not cool, it's not acceptable. Even one drink, you should not be driving.
And I guess this rethink, isn't it? Because, we do these campaigns year on year, and people start to filter them, don't they?
Yeah, I think that with Rethink, we found ourselves in a good space, because we're saying it's decades of habits. It's decades of attitude towards the problem. It's decades of behavior. How do we begin to shift that? We need a cultural shift. And the Rethink is, we're not wagging the finger. We're not really using the shock tactics. We're tired of seeing the mangled car on the side of the road. We want individuals to take responsibility. And we believe at aware.org that when individuals pause and rethink, that they will make the right choices.
All right. And this is working in combination and in partnership with various agencies to try and get this message across, because, as you say, sadly we see too many times these accidents, and if people just change their behavior, we could put paid to some of these.
Absolutely. So our chief partner on this is the Road Traffic Management Corporation. As you know, they're the statutory body that deals with road safety in South Africa. So it made sense for us to partner with them. We also need to partner with credible organizations, so that when we step out there and we make these statements and we want to engage with people, they pay attention to us. As I said, as South Africans, we really have become desensitized, and we need to denormalize this, because we're saying it's no longer cool. So from a Road Traffic Management Corporation, they deal with enforcement, they deal with road safety. Our role is very clear, it's education and awareness.
All right. Do you think it's going to make a difference? I suppose that's the hope.
I think it's the start. Like I said, we can't continue to do the same thing and expect different results. I think that we want to start the conversation with South Africans. The pop-up bar today was to trigger the conversation, and we hope to continue the conversation on our various platforms. And I think with time, people will begin to respond. I think we're doing it in a way where we're drawing people in, and we're not shouting down at them, but we're trying to engage them so that they can actually pay attention and do the right thing.
All right. I mean, it was a clever campaign at start, and I suppose from now on it's just to keep the momentum going and keep the message to the front. What did Wayne Mina say? Was he shocked?
It's so funny, because he was invited to attend the event, but he didn't join the dots, and he got a call to say there's this pop-up bar on William Nicol and you guys need to go and do something about it. And he called to say, I'm bringing the mayor at 1 o'clock and we're shutting down this bar. And I said, no, but Wayne, this is the same invite that we sent to you. So he gave it its support. They've endorsed it as JMPD. We have the support from the mayor, we have the support from the MMC of Public Safety, and we have multiple stakeholders there. We even had the Justice Project South Africa turn up, and they threatened to bring disabled people to protest because they thought that this was actually a pop-up bar. And so they were pleasantly surprised that this really was just a PR stunt to start the conversation and to launch the festive media campaign.
All right. So what are you going to do next, though?
So this is underpinned by the core message that goes out on multiple platforms. We're not going into television because we believe that South Africans at this time of the year are traveling. They're going home, which is tradition. They're going to spend time with their families. We're very big in outdoor, so we're going to do big billboards all across the country. We're going into radio in a big way in all the official languages. We're going to be in transit. We're going to be in washrooms. We're going to be in taverns. We're going to be on social media, of course. And we're also trying some new social media platforms. So we're going into Spotify, we're going into Deezer, we're going into Waze. We want to reach South Africans where they are, and hopefully we communicate the message in a compelling way, and it lands with them, and it resonates with them, and they think, okay, well, maybe it's time for me to rethink my behavior.
And it is rethinking, and I guess that the issue is not so much that alcohol is a problem, it's the abuse of it that's the problem. And if you're the designated driver, don't drink.
Absolutely, but you know, Peter, we have options now in South Africa. We have got Uber, we have got Taxify, you know, and even if you can't afford that, then get a family member to pick you up and get a friend to pick you up. So there's no more excuses. We have to draw a line in the sand, and we have to say it's not cool to drink and drive. Even that one drink, you need to rethink your behavior.
All right, Ingrid, thanks very much indeed for coming through, and we wish you the best of luck, because even if one person has rethinked, perhaps that's a life saved. So thanks so much indeed, and well done on such an innovative idea.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.